What's going on, everybody? Today is a relatively simple project, although quite a sentimental one. I've got a family friend. His name is Pete. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. He's just a sweet guy. He worked at Amtrak for like 40 years on the trains and the train yard. He has a ton of awesome collectibles in his house from working at Amtrak for so long. And he's a big fan of mine, big fan of blacksmithing. He threw out there that he would love to have a fireplace poker that was, handmade, hammered, looked rough, maybe some twisted steel, something like that. So I'm gonna make him one today. He has no idea it's coming. Just such a nice guy. Just visiting with him, he wouldn't let me leave his house without gifts. He gave me a railroad spike. Pretty simple. We see these all the time. This one is very, very old. Don't know how old, but it was in his collection. And then he gave me this. It's like a dating nail. I'm sure I'm getting this wrong, but it has the year on there from when it was put in, I guess, so you can monitor like, hey, you put the date in there by the tie or whatever you're working on with the railroad, and then you can come back and say, oh, that was installed in 89, that was installed in 74. Well, this nail says 1929. It was really cool, and it was really cool for him to give this to me. So I'm actually going to use it and give it right back to him. We're going to use this railroad spike as the handle. It should fit well. I'm going to give it a twist. cool thing is I'm going to take this date nail and I'm going to drill out a inset right here that'll fit this head, cut the head off, set it in there, so I'll have the 29. And he saw a project I did where I inlaid some brass, or bronze rather, in for some initials into a project. And he thought that was rather swell, so we're gonna have a bronze P for Pete's, and then the 29 right above it. So I got this bronze silica TIG welding rod, and this is great for basically inlaying into steel. You know, it's mostly bronze. It melts pretty easily. It's a soft metal, and just kind of force it up in there and then grind it flat. Pretty cool little technique. I've done it a couple times, and it usually works out well. I'm gonna do a little MIG welding. I hope you don't mind. Gonna MIG weld this to the rod of the poker, probably the hook onto the rod of the poker as well, instead of trying to parcel it all out. I'm not necessarily always a purist, and if I can make things better, stronger with modern technology, you know what? Sue me. right, everybody, so now we come to the age-old question, how to finish it? Or is it finished? Or what kind of finish does it get? That was my first thought, maybe to just rub this down, make it all black. I don't know, you could also heat it up and stick it in the quench oil to get a nice black on there. The only problem is I have now epoxied this 29 in here, and the epoxy will most certainly melt out if I heat up this handle section. Well, it's little stuff like this where you just have to make a choice. It's not really a right or wrong, it's just your own personal aesthetic or what you think your client is gonna like. And, you know, what's he gonna like? I don't know. I'm sure he'll like it as it is. It's always something to think about. What's the finish gonna be on each and every little piece, and how are you gonna achieve that, especially when it's done and you don't want to mess it up. You know, this piece has a lot of history in it, and the spike and the date nail and everything were very old and worn and rusty and nasty. I think it'd be interesting to see them all shined up here and not try to hide that. So I'm gonna make the call, boom, hit it with some WD-40, get whatever remaining funk is off of this, and then I'm just gonna let time do its thing once again on these pieces, and just let it age through use. And I'm sure Pete will put it through quite a bit of use, at least I hope he does. So yeah, that's it. And you know what? Made the call, boom. I'm done with it. You can think it was terrible. I can maybe think it was terrible later, but really you gotta just make that decision, move on, put it out of your head, put your work out there into the world. Don't try to Lucas it back, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so stay tuned for our next videos. I got some big projects coming that I wanna finish out before the end of the year. Some a lot more complicated and more weapony than a fireplace poker. Well, unless we're playing Clue, this would probably be a pretty good weapon. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.